today I am going to tell you how to move to New York being bad, bougie, and broke. Or actually, let me not even say that. Don't bring the negativity in the circle. On a budget. There we go. Bad, bougie, and on a budget. Okay, I like that a lot better. Anyway, these are all the things that I did whenever I was first moving to New York. I've been in New York for 3 years. Wow. 3 years now. I'm signing my lease for the 4th year. So I've definitely gained some knowledge on how to survive here, especially on a budget. So if you want to learn how to do it, if you're living in New York, or if you're thinking about moving to New York, especially from a different state, here is how you do it. All right? Keep watching.
I've been putting work in, healing myself, still got room to grow.
So you guys, if you don't know, my name is Sheridan. I moved to New York from Texas, Dallas, Texas. Yes, I am a southern girl here. We rented a pickup truck and we literally drove from Dallas to Texas, stopped in Nashville, but did it in 2 days and it was wild. But the number one thing that I was really conscious about was making sure I was aware of my budget. Go through your finances, guys. Be honest with yourself and understand realistically what is it that you can actually afford. I had a set budget in mind on how much I wanted to spend in rent. I had a set budget in mind on how much I could afford for the month as far as utilities and groceries, and as far as just like emergency funds that might happen. So whenever you do start looking for apartments, you already know, okay, this is the max I can do. I'm not doing more than this. What exactly is going to be included with the budget that I have in mind? What utilities can I afford with that? Try and figure out what is the most important to you, what is the least important. Maybe add on another roommate because that'll help the budget go down. Or maybe you don't have to have an elevator in your building. I've never had an elevator in my building. That'd be nice, but that was literally never an option. My list was very, very small when it came to what I could afford. So, yeah, and I have 3 roommates, so yeah. Number 2, okay, this is low-key like a little hack, and this is what I did. So obviously you want to have a job when you come to New York. Realistically, you would want to have it before you come to New York, especially if you're looking for an apartment. They are going to ask for proof of income, or if you don't have any pay stubs to show, they are going to want a letter from your employer proving that you have a job. So what I did to kind of make sure that I have a solid job and income whenever I moved to New York, I found a company that was in Dallas and that was also in New York. I started working there. I would suggest, if you're gonna do this, to start working there like at least a year before. I did 7 months, which is low-key pushing it, but because I was a hard worker, they felt comfortable with referring me in such a small amount of time. But I would say at least give it a year. So find a company that is in wherever you are and also in New York, preferably in an area that is close to where you're thinking of moving. So if you know you are going to move in Brooklyn, maybe find a location that is in Brooklyn. Start working at the job where you live now, and then a year later, this is if you're like planning like far ahead, you guys, but a year later, let them know like, hey, I'm moving to New York. I would love to stay with the company. Is there any way that you can refer me, or can I transfer over from this location to the New York location? That was what I did for job number 1. So I already had guaranteed a job. It was a part-time job, but at least it was something and I could show proof of employment that way. Number 2 thing I did was, but when I was in Dallas, I worked for Cumulus Media. And so I sat down with my manager, let her know, hey, like I'm thinking of moving to New York. I would really appreciate it if you guys can help me maybe find references, or if there's anyone you can refer me over for employment, I would really appreciate that. You have to be a hard worker for this. if you're moving to New York, I would assume that you are a hard worker because you need that drive to be in New York. But because I had a good rapport with the company, they were able to connect me over to iHeartRadio, and I was hired while I was still in Texas. So I was able to have 2 jobs already set in New York before I even moved to New York. Number 3 is look for apartments with no broker's fees, you guys. And ask. Don't just assume just because you hit the button on Street Easy that says no broker fees, that is actually not going to be no broker fee. Legit, if you are on the phone and someone is showing you an apartment, ask, is there a broker fee included in this? Most of the time, if you hit that button, it will be no, but I've had instances where even though I hit the button, they will still charge a broker fee. So make sure that you are looking for no broker fees. You can look on Facebook on Gypsy Housing if you are just trying to fill a room. You're not looking for an entire apartment. It was different for me. I was looking for an entire apartment because I was able to find roommates that were also moving to New York. I didn't know them, but we just mutually met from people that I knew, and we were able to fill a 4-bedroom apartment in that way. So if that is the case, if you're coming with people, I would say look on Street Easy. Look on Craigslist. I know it sounds sketchy, but Craigslist is actually a really good place where you can find apartments. Look on Roomie. That's a good one if you are just trying to fill a room. Nookland's really good. Make sure it doesn't have a broker's fee because that is an extra cost that is pointless and you do not have to pay at all. Number 4 is to take advantage of the free things in New York. There are so many free things to do in New York. It's crazy. There are exhibits that are for free that you can go to. If you can prove that you are a New York resident, which all you have to do is just show your lease or a utility bill, you can get into most of the museums for free. There are so many free concerts that I've been to. I literally saw her. I saw her after she won her Grammy too, and didn't pay a dime for it. Yeah, I had to wait in line for 6 hours for it, but I met so many cool new people and I have so many new friends because of it. So there are so many opportunities and so many free things that New York offers to where you just literally don't have to pay a dime for it. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. There's so many cool apps that you can check out. I will put it on the screen. I would also say too, to enroll in whatever neighborhood or borough you're in, to enroll in their email list. I'm enrolled in NYC Parks and then the Bushwick email list. So it lets me know what all is happening in the neighborhood every single week. So I can see what different things, if there are free concerts going on. I've been to free movies in the park. These are a lot of things I would do when I first moved because I didn't know anyone. So I wanted to go out, meet new people, and not spend money while doing that. So I was able to meet a lot of new people and friends that I still have now, 3 years later. And it's from events like these that I did not even pay a dime for. I would also say Rockwood Music Hall. I don't know if they're doing this right now, but it used to be back in the day. Every Sundays they would have free shows that you can go and check out emerging artists. They would ask you to buy a drink, but I would never buy a drink. But they asked, so I'm just putting that out there. Number 5, I would say, is to discover new neighborhoods, especially when you are on a budget or you don't have any extra money to spend. It could be really discouraging and it feels like you aren't getting the full opportunity or the full potential that New York has to offer because you don't have a big budget to work with. But this is not the case at all, you guys. Just because you are not spending money does not mean you have to stay in the house. I am the queen of walking. I will literally walk to Trader Joe's from my house, which is an hour away. And people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I really enjoy the walk because there are so many beautiful neighborhoods that you get to pass on that way. Bushwick has so many cool murals that people are constantly changing and doing. So just come to Bushwick, walk around, look at all the cool murals. You can go to Fort Greene, go in the park. There's usually markets with fresh fruits and vegetables there. Just look at the fruits and vegetables. Or the houses, you guys. There's so many beautiful brownstones and Bed-Stuy, Clinton Hill, like I said, Fort Greene, that you could literally just walk around just to stare at the homes and manifest one day which one you want to live in. I know I do that. I put that in my manifesting journal, like the exact address of which one that I'm gonna be living in one day. So just walk around and manifest and see the neighborhoods that you potentially want to move in, or the high-end neighborhoods that are super classy. See the difference between one neighborhood from the other. See the difference between boroughs. All the boroughs have such a specific and different look to it that you can just explore that and see what else is there. So just because you don't have money doesn't mean you have to stay in your house. Just leave your house, find a neighborhood, and just explore it. That's free, so do it. Go to your local happy hours. Number one, happy hours are always gonna be the cheapest. Number two, usually for happy hours, I would say because it's in like an awkward time, most of the time it's not really busy, people aren't really there, which means you can mingle with the bartender and become really good friends with the bartender. My roommate's really good at this. And then next time you go, you might get free drinks. Literally every time I go with her, she's so good at mingling with all the bartenders, especially when she goes for happy hour, that we'll go and we'll order like 8 drinks all together, all of us, and only pay like $10 for it. Like, she's just that good at like finessing and mingling with people. So if you're good, use that to your advantage. Go to your happy hours. Don't go crazy, obviously, but like, you know, mingle, meet new people, have a good time. So next time you go, they might remember you and might help you out and not charge you as much on your drinks. I need to get better at that one. I'm not very good at that one. The next tip, number 7, is to be cautious about your transportation. So you don't want to be Ubering everywhere. If you come to New York and you don't have a lot of money, get your butt on the subway, get your butt on the bus, or walk. Do not go crazy on transportation, y'all. I use Ubers only if it was a late night out, your girl had some drinks in her system, and I feel like I would be endangered if I took public transportation. That is the only time I take Ubers or Lyfts or whatever. If I feel like it is going to be a hazard to my life, I will take a car or a taxi or whatever like that. But if not, take the subway. Like, if you have to debate it, just take the subway. Unless it's about what we talked about. And also too, I want to bring this to your attention because there are unlimited services and there are weekly services that you can purchase for like a Metro card. Obviously, if you are using your Metro card at least 5 days a week, twice a day, 100% get the unlimited. It is going to save you some money by doing it and benefit you in that way. But if you are not traveling that much, don't get the unlimited. You're just going to be wasting your money. So be cautious about how much you are actually traveling within the month or even within the week. If you know that week is going to be super busy for you and you are going to be traveling a lot that week, then get the weekly so you can do unlimited swipes. It just makes more sense. Or if it's going to be a busy month, you know there are going to be a couple of weeks that you are going to be traveling like crazy, get the monthly. But if you work from home or like you're not really planning on leaving the house that much, or if you can walk around your area or just walk there, then just pay by phone or like just pay one at a time. You don't have to get the monthly or the weekly. And the last tip, you guys, like, I feel like this is obvious, but maybe it's just obvious to me, and that is to make your own food. Like, You can spend so much money on food here. And don't get me wrong, the food in New York hits different, okay? I go back to Texas and I eat at restaurants and I'm just like, what is this? Like, bland. Where's the hot sauce? Where's the seasoning? Where's the flavor? So it's definitely well worth the price you're gonna pay. And I'm not saying to don't splurge on yourself sometimes and don't go out with your friends sometimes, but meal plan. Go out maybe once a week or once every other week like that. Don't plan on eating out every single day, especially Uber Eats. That Uber Eats adds up quick, okay? It's so easy just to hit a button and then you see the credit card bill and you're like, whoa, did I do that? So make your own food. I meal prep every week. It's like fun for me. I get my wine, I put my jazz music on, I put a little ambiance lighting, and I meal prep. Like, that is my me time. My roommates already know, and like, I enjoy doing that, especially looking at recipes on Pinterest. Yeah, make your own meals, plan it out. Don't always eat out every single day, especially Uber Eats, because you're just wasting your time. If you're going to eat out, you might as well do it for the experience. So go somewhere and eat out. That is all the tips I have for you. Hopefully it was helpful. List down below if it was helpful, what was your favorite tip that you learned from. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and I will be definitely doing more videos on moving to New York. So we will catch you in the next one. Bye.